Hello world, what's up? This is your boy Quantel Lindsey, and we are on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. And today I have a living legend. I have a hip hop pioneer. I have a dude, a trailblazer, Grammy nominated, Dove nominated, and winner multiple times over. I have the one and only, you know him as Bonafide. I know him as Bonafide, aka Teron Carter, aka Goat Carter is what I call him. One half of the legendary group Grids. Y'all give my man a digital hand clap in here. What's up with you, King?
Hey, what's up with you, man? Man, salute to you, salute to you, salute to everyone that's tuned in and that will be tuning in. Definitely, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the appreciation for just the support over the years and even beyond that. So definitely, man, it's a blessing. Especially
Likewise,
we here with
likewise.
you, bro. Where we
Hey,
started
come on,
out,
man.
blessing from where we started out in the mud a little
Come,
bit.
Come on, man. Come on, Doc, man. This has been a big brother, a big homie, a real voice in this culture, man. And his beard is fire, man. Listen,
Uh,
bro, you came on here. The beard is crazy, Doc. I seen you went back to the dreads.
Yeah, man. I had to go ahead and
Yeah.
go back to it, man. If for those who know, that's this for something for you to go research. That's like that Nazarite covenant when you trying to
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you want your life to go a certain way. You let that hair go until you through that sanctification process. So
Wow.
it's
Wow.
biblical. Put it that way. It's biblical. It ain't got nothing to
Come
do
on in here, man.
with what you
Yeah.
think it do.
My man said the Nazarite. Listen, if you know, you know. When he said
That
the
Nazarite
Nazarite vow.
covenant. Just go
Yeah.
look, Google that Nazarite covenant. Just go look at that, and then you understand the beard and the locks, because really, technically, it's locks. So you'll
Yeah.
understand that. Go look that up.
Hey, listen, you know you really from that about that life when you say locks, like people correct
Right.
you when they say them locks. Man, without further ado, man, listen, if you do not know, if you haven't heard of Grits, if you haven't heard of Bonafide, aka Teron Carter, Coffee Jones, make up the group Grits. I don't know where you've been for the last 2 decades. We're talking about a trailblazer right now. And for those asking, Coffee is on the road, correct?
Yeah, man. He's been traveling. He had some family things he was dealing with. Then he went out, kind of took some vacation time, and he was in transition. And I was trying to get him a part of this, but then again, I wanted, like I said, man, we like to do things on a certain level. So I didn't want anything to go wrong with him being in transition or any of that. And I knew that we would still be able to deliver, and it opens up an opportunity for us to come back again.
Come back on the show. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Come back on the show.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this is the Quantel Lindsey podcast. This episode is brought to you by and sponsored by Blueprint for Life. There's
Mm.
no blueprint for life, but together we can create one. Listen, man, we're gonna jump right in. I put this
Yeah,
out to
man.
the world. I had questions coming in, man. Like the people love grits, still love
Yeah.
grits, and we're super excited that I was gonna have grits on, man. So we're gonna jump right in, man.
Yeah,
What
man.
does GRIT stand for?
GRIT stands for, it's an acronym, grammatical, the words we speak, revolution to bring about change in the spirit. The only change that ever happened in your life, and it's facts, no question, believe it or not, it's still true. It's going to happen in your spirit. When a man makes a decision in his spirit, that's when you see him make a life change. And really, that's no matter, because the reason why I say fact, because it don't even matter what he chased after, what he believed. But when a man believes in something in his spirit, he chases it, and you'll see him change his life for the good or the bad, for the good or the bad. So that's why I say it's facts that you can't argue with that. No matter which way it go, you get the same result.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. I gotta know who came up. Who came up with that? You broke that down. Was that Coffee? Was that y'all together
You
in
know
the
what?
lab?
What? To be honest with you, we were at a festival. At this time, we dancing with DC Talk. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this is like in the '90s, early '90s, because this is before we came out. So, and I was like, look. if we're gonna do this, you know, we had decided we were gonna go ahead and collab and become a group because we have been dancing together so many years. And I had already been working on like artistry stuff as a solo artist because my history, I came from artistry. I came from a group that held in Jacksonville, Florida. Grits, honestly, the conception of Grits honestly started in 1988 and 87.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's what people don't know is I actually recorded 3 records before Grits ever existed from 1986, 87, and 88.
Wow.
And that group was
Wow.
called Jesus Jamsters. And we held out of Jacksonville, Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. And so that's my history. That's how I even met Toby Mac. That's how we even
Okay.
got bonded to even know of for Grits to come about. And because of that history, that's what gave him the trust when he started Goatee as a label. He already knew me as an artist, as a writer, as a person for several years before we even came to the table and said, "Hey man, let's collab." Really what happened was we got acquainted, and then it was a job that became something that became more like a brother thing. And
Wow.
it was really predestined. It was God ordained. And the reason why I say it was God ordained, because to this day I got his number. I can text him right now, and it ain't got to be about music.
Man, come on in here, man. Listen, I got people commenting. They said they grew up on you, man.
Man,
That's crazy, legendary, man. Listen, when I remember getting into the culture and dabbling in music and
mm,
being around, and Cass was like, "Yo, you heard of Grits? You heard of Grits?" And I'm like, you know what I mean, bro? Like I told you, I'm fresh out the hood. I'm like,
yeah,
nah, I ain't never heard of Grits. Like, and I just, did my Googles, did my research, bro. And you know me, man. On this show, we love to give people their props and we love to give them their credit. And I don't like the term "give you your flowers" while you can smell them,
right,
because
right,
if we're being honest, them flowers stink. But on
right.
this show, on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, we like to give you your crown while you can still wear it. And
Yeah,
I truly believe, man, that CHH is better, the music in general, and there's so much love we have for Coffee Jones and Teron Carter
right.
and Grits as a whole. And I believe we just want to give you your crown for the next hour or so, King, and let you
Yeah,
know what you and your brother done and the music y'all put out. It impacted generations.
right, right.
I
Well, I
have
mean,
people.
wow.
Go ahead, King. I
No,
it
you finish. You go ahead, man.
Yeah, it impacted generations, man. A lot of us stand on the shoulders of the groundwork y'all put in. I
Mm,
remember, now what we do is okay and it's accepted and the budget's a little bigger, but somebody had to blaze that trail. So my
right.
next question, King, so for one, salute to you and Grits and all that y'all have done. And I'm putting a kingdom service announcement out there. We need to check our energy when it comes to honoring our legends in this culture, because
Mm,
all of us got a birthday and God will transition us all to another season. And I want to see the culture that I love, CHH, begin to our award shows
right,
recognize and honor our legends and everybody, because that's what they're doing in the other culture, and we're not transitioning our pioneers well, if I must say so myself.
right, right, right. Um, just for a sidebar of game and truth in the
Okay.
spirit.
Okay.
In this world, our, if you want to call it enemy, or I would say adversary, they, he, however you want to put it, operate in a place where they usually use our strengths against us.
Mm.
So you know why it works for them when they collaborate and promote and do it the way do collabs together. They show brotherhood. They represent a unity. And for those of us who are more of a spiritual people, of course, the morals don't line up with what we would do. But why does it seem that it works for them and it don't work for us? And
Wow.
that's because there's a principle behind what they're doing that stands only on truth, that only produces fruit. Doesn't matter where it came from, it's the fact that the principle works, and because of where the principle came from. It came from, if you do this, this is going to be the result, which came from the mouth of our Father. What did he say? You reap what you sow. So if they sow unity and do that and make it look like, as much as it may be even on a, let's say for a better lack of speaking, perverted level, it still works, don't it? They still get blessings, don't it? You know why? Because once his word goes forth, it don't come back. So what he said was multiply and be fruitful, right? But did he put any kind of stipulation on that? No, that was just a command. So that man is naturally innate to whatever he put his hands to make it succeed, to make it push through and survive. But there's certain principles he's got to do it by. He's got to work together. He's got to be humble in some sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, even apart from having a relationship with Christ, these are things you can do as a man just on principle. Know how to work with people. Know how to work together. Know how to take criticism. Know how to take advice, wisdom, put it in action. See, these are just principles that the Father laid in our lives. That's already in us. We know these things, and we know it when we're operating in it because we see success, and so we push forward with it. You know, and to be honest with you, you know just as well as I do, it work in the streets too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Turkeys on holiday ain't nothing but tides.
Come on. Come on,
Turkeys
big
on
dog.
holiday ain't nothing but tides. You know what I'm saying? Just because you bought everybody on the block tennis shoes and all, that ain't nothing but tides. You trying to give back. You trying to do pour something back into something you took from, or something that you got something from.
Wow.
Which is the concept of tithing. That's what that is. You are willingly want to give something back, and you want to give it out of the first thing you get, because you know if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have that.
Come on in here, y'all. This is Teron Carter, one half of Grits on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. Listen, continue to share, continue to put your questions out here. King, we're going to dive in. You come to know the Lord. You're creating music in 86, 87, 89. You running. What year do you meet Coffee Jones?
Coffee Jones, 1990, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember we did the first tour together, like 91, which was there was a festival in Washington, D.C. called DC 91. That was like our first kind of, if I'm not mistaken, big thing with DC Talk as dancers. So when I started with DC Talk in like 1990 or so, just late 80, you know, after 89 or whatever, I began as the lead choreographer and, you know, kind of stage production person when it comes to the performance on stage and the dancers. And we were hiring and I mean, it was a blessing. I just kind of got blessed into that. It wasn't something that I went and auditioned for. It was nothing like that. Everything happened very organically in the way that the Spirit saw fit for it to happen. And so meeting Coffee was from a video shoot for DC Talk. And we were auditioning dancers from that video shoot, which was, if I'm not mistaken, tearing down the walls. So if you go back in the day and look at those videos, DC Talk tearing down the walls, you'll see Coffee, you'll see me. Well, that was really kind of the beginning, because that's where we pulled Coffee from.
Wow. Okay. Good deal. So around 90, 91, and then y'all come to be, man, this is some CHH history, and it's some people out there probably like, man, I thought CHH started in 05. You know, this
No,
thing
man,
is
way before that. Way before that. Because you got to remember Stephen Wiley before that. And you got to remember before Stephen Wiley, you got to remember D-Boy Rodriguez in Dallas, who was in the streets doing his thing, who got killed in the streets doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the actual situation around it, but the thing that what we heard in the South, you know, hearing it from Dallas, the rumor that we heard what happened was he basically got killed by gangbangers, because that's what his ministry was. He was ministry to dudes that were straight up in the streets and gangbanging in Dallas. And so, of course, that causes tensions when you start flipping them dudes who living that life, because they really about what they about and they really mean that. But when they have found this different purpose, the actual purpose in life, and then they make that transition, imagine a lot of them dudes gonna change. A lot of them gonna want to change because they don't want to lay their life down for nothing. You know, they're just searching for something. And then when they find that in Christ as he was presented to them, it became a problem from what the story I was getting living in Florida, but keeping up with what was going on in the society as far as in the music culture as what we would call Christian hip hop. Now, back then they did call it gospel hip hop because that was just, that's what we knew it as. Gospel
Yeah.
rap, really,
Yeah.
gospel rap. That's what Stephen Wiley was known, gospel rap. So in that world, before Stephen Wiley, when PID was around, and you know what I'm saying, and your D-Boy Rodriguez's, like, that's what it was. So, before
Man,
I even mention us, I'm like, well, before us there was PID, before us there was D-Boy Rodriguez, before us there was guys, and before Stephen Wiley. So,
wow.
if we want to go deep with it,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And that's really what I believe for the young cats, people like myself. I think knowing that this culture is rooted and it's
Mm.
aging well and guys have plowed. What is the climate, Bonafide? What is the climate in 91, 92? And where y'all touring, y'all doing shows? Is the church accepting you guys? I mean, is the streets accepting y'all? What is the temperature out there?
Man, if you want to know, I mean, for all those who claim to be real hip hop heads out there, then I'm gonna tell you now, it was the real underground. Like we were the
Okay.
real underground. You know why? Because we weren't accepted nowhere. They didn't like us
Mm.
over there because they them religious dudes, they them gospel rappers. They didn't like us over there because they not gospel enough.
Wow,
So we had
wow.
to tread ground. So think about it. It makes sense why we would partner up and do concerts and shows with Goody Mob.
Mm.
You know why? Because they wasn't street enough, and they was too righteous. They was too righteous for the streets, but they was too street for people who were conservative in the community. See what I'm
Wow, my man.
saying? And we
Yeah,
fit
yeah.
right in the middle of that with, well, we too real to be in the church. You know what I'm saying? But we too church for these folks that's out here that's too real. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So that's why those common denominators kind of, we always were the middle ground, or if I would say, dare to say, the bridge.
the
We
bridge, the
always have
bridge.
been the bridge. For
Yeah,
those who couldn't get across the other way, they can get across this way. You know what I'm
nice.
saying? So that's the
Yeah.
best way for me to explain it.
That's
I
super
don't look at
dope.
us like, oh, we ain't out here. I'm not out here, and we not out here soldier boy. You know what I'm saying? We was the first. No, bro, I don't even have to say that. Just
Big
do the
soldier.
history. Just do the history and see who was the first. I don't care
Okay.
about that. What I care about is, did we do, how did we handle what he gave us in the time that he gave it to us? And did we
Come on.
handle it in a way where he could continue to bless us beyond the season that men see?
Dope, dope. My man said, "Don't get it mistaken. He ain't out here like Big Soldier. He ain't Draco in it. You said do the history, and I believe we have to do that, Teron, because I believe it helps our culture grow.
Right,
Just for people, my dude David said, T-Bone was another legend. Just
right,
for, just for me knowing the history of grits, when I ran into you, it was love from like,
right.
yo, man, I heard you put in work. I heard you plowed. I heard you done this. You know what I'm saying? And I believe, bro, I came through and churches and venues and people accepted the boy with all the tattoos and the
Mm-hmm.
dreads at the time because you guys have paved the way and everyone else you name and every other person that went before us. So I just want to not be a gatekeeper of the culture, but like I always tell you, man, they give Nas love across the street.
They do. Yeah, they
Jay
do.
get love across the
Yeah,
street. Like Biggie and Pac still get love. Like
yeah,
man, you see Cube and you see the pioneers that broke things down. The Wu-Tang move around like they just dropped. And I'm like, where is that? Where is that
now,
in this culture?
now, you know what the hurtful part of that in this culture is? And I'm being real with you, and it's right
Let's
here on the
go. Come
Quantel
on.
Lindsey podcast. You know what the hurtful part is? I'm talking about that hurt from like a spouse, that disappointment, like from a spouse. Like, you were the last person I thought would do this to me. No matter what that is. But I just want you to really capture the hurt of whatever that is. Sorry about that.
Wow. All good.
The
All
lights
good.
went out. But that's
All
okay.
good.
Now, Good. That means that it's time for you to listen. That's what that means. I'm a person with the spirit. You know what I'm saying? That means he wants you to listen, not see me.
Okay.
So imagine the hurt that it is to see, not to take anything away from transition, from resurrection, from repentance, from salvation. But imagine the hurt it is to see how Kanye is celebrated, who has put no work in,
Wow.
except for one song, which was after we were already out talking about what Jesus walking. We already did that concept. The real fact is, before he even put that song out, I think we were already at the point where we had a meeting with Def Jam before.
Wow.
So for us to look at our own community now, I'm feeling like, oh, this is what Christ was talking about.
Wow.
Okay, this is why we gotta keep moving.
Wow. Listen,
And
it's getting
that's what we did. We kept moving. Where we were accepted or invited, we went. Where we were only being tolerated, we refused to go. And it's sadly to say, where we were being accepted and invited, not even sadly, actually, it's a victory and a testimony. Where we were being accepted and invited was not the church.
wow.
Now,
Wow.
I will leave it at this, not leave it, but at least bring the point to this. I think because of our naivety and in obedience in doing it, and a little bit of rebellion, like, oh, y'all gonna treat us like this, so we gonna really go and take the world. We're gonna go special ops, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. We really gonna do it now. I think with even in that, because there was a sense of actually obedience in that to say, no, I need y'all to go against the grain. No, I need y'all to do this, but I need you to do it a specific way. I don't need you to do it in a way that seems rebellious. I need you to do it in a way that looks and that it's obvious that you're being led. Because if you do it the way that I tell you to do it, every way that you go, the door will already be open. Just like in historical biblical times, when they would follow what he would tell them to do, if you go over here and do this, there's going to be victory. Even though it may not look like it. I know they look bigger than y'all. I know they look like they this. I know y'all look like y'all small. But if you do it the way I asked you to do it, then guess what? In the end, there is going to be victory.
Wow.
You just have to be obedient enough to be willing to do it. And that's how Grits has won and wins. We're just crazy enough and willing enough to be obedient to do it. Not because we're that righteous, not because we've got it all together, not because we're so deep in the spirit. No, it's because we're just willing to do it because we recognize and understand the price he paid. I ain't got nothing that'll ever add up, that'll ever pay it off. So I might as well go in and give it all when it's time to give it all. Period.
Dope. Dope, man. Listen, man. Only on y'all heard him on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, and my man is back in the light to let y'all know he aging like fine wine, not milk out here, man. Dreads right, beard right. Listen, so it's the '90s, and y'all are jumping out there,
Yeah.
man. You drop your first project. What year? And what was it like being signed to Goatee? You already got a relationship with
Right.
Toby Mac. How did that deal come about? What was it like? Give us that energy. You and Coffee going in to drop that first
Right.
project. You have a deal. You have a major deal. You signed a Goatee, and you gearing up to drop that first project that will, to me, start a movement that'll shift and change lives. Did y'all know what Grits was going to be? And now you keep it real. Did you sit in the stool like yo Coffee? Two decades later, we're gonna be on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, and they're gonna be giving us a crown and saluting us for what we're doing in here today.
No. But we had ambitions and a vision for it to be that. But
Wow.
we knew that it was going to take us to be very specific, very strategic in how we did things, why we did things. We were going to have to go against the grain because we knew that the challenge was there was a lot of ground that we were going to be breaking, that we were already breaking just in our imagery. Because you got to remember back then, I mean, dude, I had a nose ring and blonde hair, 1992,
Wow.
1993. This is before your Chris Browns, before your Cisco's. See what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is so we've never been about trendy. And matter of fact, when it got popular, I stopped doing it. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying? So it's
Yeah.
like this is back when Pac had a nose ring. The only people in the industry had Pac had a nose ring. I had a nose ring. That's how people would remember me as bona fide. Oh yeah, you the other one with the nose ring like Tupac. Because
Wow.
that's just the way it was. But that was something I think that was used against us because it was you talking about a time with no internet, no MySpace, no Facebook, no IG, none of that stuff popping off. So what people saw was what they saw. When it was real in front of them, it was real. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a buffer. They couldn't go and Google it and make sure that this is the person or make sure they couldn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So what they saw was what they get. So put it this way. Whatever on site was their judgment and their perception of you is exactly what they rolled with in those
Wow.
times.
Wow. So man,
In the
you
industry,
yeah.
and in ministry.
Come on, man. Man, I am here with the legend himself, Teron Carter of Gridge. You're tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast. We're going there. We're going there. We're talking about not only his story, his come up, the the barriers and the bruises. I didn't know. My man said I came in with the blonde hair in '92. I thought Cisco brought that. That was a history moment for me. I credit the blonde hair to Cisco, brother. My bad. I got to go back and give it the bona fide in '92.
Well, you know what, bro? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, in all honesty, we ain't no we ain't no spring. We are not no spring chickens around here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We came up in the age of, if you will, out of respect, De La Soul and all of that. De La Soul first record came out in like 91. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
1990. Like that's the school we come out of, being individuals, and it had
yeah,
nothing to do with an agenda. It was just
yeah.
be yourself and allow people to accept who you are, what you believe in, and all of that. That's why De La was so different, because they weren't anything. They were just some peaceful cats who could rhyme, but they rhyme so deep that you didn't understand it half the way, because they, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't an agenda. They was just being them. And so we were
Right.
inspired by that, by just being them. And then my history in being in the part of the culture for so long, you know what I'm saying, since in the early 80s, my influence when it comes to as a rapper came from Rakim, the first ever
Wow.
spiritual rapper you probably would ever, that anybody,
Wow.
I think I'll go on record to say I'm the first person to bring that up. Rakim really is the first ever really spiritual rapper, because he was
Mm,
spitting that knowledge, but you didn't know what that was. You ain't know what 5% was back then. You ain't know what Muslims was, but he was spitting that knowledge though. And
wow.
he was mixing it with the street tales, and he was giving it to you like that. Where you think Nas came from?
Come on.
Or Cool
Come
G
on.
Rap? Really, it came from Cool G Rap. Really, Nas was
Come
birthed
on.
out of Cool G Rap and a mix of Rakim. If you want to really get my opinion out of it. It was
Yeah.
a mix of the both. So go do your history on all my hip hop students out there. Do your history on Cool G Rap. You'll find Nas there all day or every day. And when you
All
listen
day.
to the
Wow.
knowledge, then you'll find Rakim there all day, every day. And KRS-One, of course. Like all of those, Chuck D, of course. You'll find that. But if you look at the eras and the society and what we were going through those times, then you understand the music,
Wow.
which brings
Listen.
you to the music of today and where we are and why you're going to see things and you're seeing things go full circle. Is it a
Yes.
coincidence that it's 20 years later and that De La Soul is just now getting their music stream? Do you realize that it's been since the 90s? Their music hasn't been on streaming services, nothing. It just got released this year, and then True Goy Plug 2 dies a week later.
Wow. That's that. Hey, listen, this is only on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. will you have a CHH legend giving you, I'm gonna go with my brothers up north, giving you the science on Rakim, the science. This brother talking mathematics in here, and that leads me to my next question,
Yeah.
Teron. How was it that you could come in Gods and Earths Nation 5% kicking mathematics and spit rhymes, but see you couldn't come in with Jesus? You know, Nas said, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus or something like
Mm,
that. Or so
mm.
you had so many people coming at Christ, and one of the rhymers said, I'll resurrect, crucify that blonde blue-eyed again, which we know now that ain't even description of Yahshua.
Right,
So
right,
we know that now. So they were looking like it was a lack of knowledge, but brothers have, we in tuned out here. So
right,
my
right,
thing is, how was there a space for the quote unquote gods and earth, the 5% nation,
right.
Islam, Tribe Called Quest,
There you
but
go.
brothers like y'all were being the religious people,
Right.
and we're not even the people, the first one to bring religious music to the forefront.
Thank you, brother. You
So
know what? You just asked the question that I've been waiting for over 20 years, because we've been in the game for over 20 years. Ooh, ah, and Art of Translation is just now 20 years old. But we got three
wow,
records before that. So,
20 plus.
right. So, and I only say that to say that's the question. So now what that did was bring me to a place in a space where I had to look at what I really believe in.
Wow.
Because now I see that I got a real enemy.
Mm,
Because if I wasn't a threat, then I would be able to thrive along with aside with them. Because even though they don't all believe the same thing either.
at all.
But there is a certain point we all can agree that they all are on the same team.
Wow.
Versus us, it's very obvious that we are not on the same team. And we definitely don't believe the same thing. But we definitely just as good. But for some reason, it is blatantly, but not blatantly suppressed.
Suppress, man. That takes me there, man. And what I would say this, and now I'm going to shift and somewhat defend. Could it be that 5% nation, gods and herbs, Muslim, Islam, and rap was cool because you were saying, yo, what up, God? But you were still smoking, blazing, and taking down shorty. Could it be that CHH rappers was, hear me now, for y'all throw stones, was trying their best to live out what they were rapping? We're
Mm,
trying to see. Come on down here. So was it
I
that?
got you.
Yeah, was it that the 5% was like, yeah, we gods and we smoking, drinking, shooting, I'll lay you down, and we trapping. But
Mm-hmm.
Grits come in and was like, Jesus is Lord. I need to make war with sin. I don't need that in my green room. It was like, church boys, get out of here then. So
Right.
could it be that we didn't get a space like other religious rap? Because again, if you just tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast, we got a legend in here. Christian rappers are not the first to, if we're gonna go there, they called us Christian rappers.
Thank
So
you.
is Rakim a percent of rap? Is he a
Right.
is that a Muslim rapper? Is Freeway out of
Right.
Philly? Is he a Muslim rapper?
Right.
So how come? And I believe, bro, when I look at it, it's because no disrespect to anybody's belief or faith, but I believe it was brothers like yourself that was rapping it and living it. And that was different. And that's where the suppressed come in, because it's one thing to talk it, but you were living that thing out. So I've
Right.
always said, how come it was space for Nas at the BET Awards, but not Grits?
Right. And
How
I think it has a lot to do with what you said. And when you said that, it kind of really it made me look at even today when you said, was it because y'all was actually living what you were saying? And
mm,
now you think about today and the climate of today's hip hop about living what you're saying.
wow.
That's what's being what? Praised now. Who the number one rapper? The one that make it look like he living what he's saying the most?
Come on.
So why is it back then when we were actually living and still are living what we were saying, we couldn't get no love?
Man, that's crazy. And we had to go over here and create this genre within a genre because we still don't have our space. What happens is we still don't have an industry, and that what leads me to my next
Right.
question is like we had to go and create our own radio, create our own outlets, create this and that, and we don't have a industry still to this day. And when you see cats, you're like, yo, what you doing? Oh, I'm going to school to be an attorney. Why is that? Because I want to be a lawyer and be a entertainment lawyer for kingdom artists. We don't have that, so we're always borrowing, looking, and trying to get in the house because I
Right.
don't think but no other faith-based rapper, nobody else that professed to claim something had to go create a whole industry within an industry.
Right.
So
Right. And you're
CHH
right.
had, yeah, so CHH artists had to be dope to get in and then stay in, but create their own economic,
Right.
their own ecosystem. So if you look at it, man, I gotta salute CHH artists across the board and the pioneers because I just
Yeah,
got
man.
exhausted breaking it down. So
Yep.
to be able to put projects. So man, this is a question I got from the fans out here, man. Did Grits retire?
I would say this. I don't think Grits can officially ever retire, as in like say that, hey, we're done, we quit. Because it was always bigger than us.
Wow.
So that's like asking, well, did the Rolling Stones retire? Did the Beatles really retire? Or was it just that we let them, live it off? You know what I'm saying? Like, or that you really didn't have no choice but to let it live it off because that's just how powerful the music and the movement was. And I believe that we have those same things in our genres, but we have to be awakened to that's what it really is. Like, in my honest opinion, that's what you're looking at when you see Real Live right now, Toby Mac.
Wow. Yeah.
You realize he's been in the game since 80s.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
put us on and we celebrating 20.
Mm.
So that's, and even to go back to something we said earlier, or mentioned earlier when you was talking about, celebrating those who came before us. Now, I only say this, I'll say it like this, very short, very quick, but the point is, if we don't do that, then what's the reason to even study or represent the Bible for it? Because everything that's about us is about somebody who came before us.
Come on.
So why would we say we live a life of a principle if we live with the life of those that came before us, but we don't even respect or honor the ones that's right in front of us that came before us?
Man, that's crazy. Listen, you're tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast. I got one half of the legendary group Grits, Teron Carter, aka Bonafide. King, how many albums did y'all drop on Goatee Records?
Goatee Records, I think officially it was about 12. 10 of
Woo.
them were official like albums, and there were a couple albums that we kind of put together like as whether it was like for a just like songs we thought they missed, or like a mashup, or like a mixtape, but really an album of songs that were B-sides and unreleases. So we had a few of
Okay.
those with them too. But technically really about 10 or so, something like, I mean 12, but 10 technical real albums, and then there was a couple of albums, look, really like about 9 real albums, and then there's like 3 other ones that we did that we just kind of put together with material we had that we didn't want to just let sit on the shelf or whatnot. So,
Wow. What is Teron Carter's favorite Grits album?
wow, man. To be honest with you, I don't know. A lot of people probably be surprised, but my personal favorite album, Brit's album, is Dichotomy A.
Dichotomy.
And
Okay.
I'm a little bit biased because Dichotomy A and B are albums that basically that we produced on our own. We have co-producers on there and people we worked with, but literally I was the one at the studio for 30 straight days. You know what I'm saying? Me and my engineer, Jay Mumbles. Shout out to Jay Mumbles. Y'all check him out on Trey Fire at Trey Fire on Instagram. That's him. That's his production. He do all the songs in Miami. He in Miami, like with kids dancing and stuff like that. But it's real hot down there, Trey. That little movement they got going on. But me and him, we did dichotomy A and B. Like we just and Auto Price, of course, was incorporated in that process. And man, we grinded out. But that was actually really the first album that Grits really had complete control albums, because we did 2 in 30 days.
Wow.
That we had complete control over as far as what direction we wanted to go, what we wanted to do. And there was a lot of songs that I know that people miss because there's a lot to do with the business side, why things can or won't be successful too. So
Yeah. So again, you're tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast. This episode is sponsored to you by Blueprint for Life. Listen, my life be light.
mm,
Bring us into that studio session. Who like come in? What are y'all doing? If you can remember, like, where did that come from, man? Not only is that song timeless, it's
mm.
been featured in MTV Pimp My Ride, movies, films, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. It's been in placements, movies. I mean, it's. I would say, you could correct me, is that y'all biggest record in numbers and recognition?
Definitely. And it's actually one of TikTok's biggest records as far as for their audio uses. It's in their
Wow.
list. That ain't something
Wow.
that a list they created of to say,
Wow.
hey, this is one of the songs that's in our top 10 all-time most played, most like, this is one of those songs.
Talk
So
about it. So my kids, so when my kids are bumping that, I'm gonna be like, yo, that's my dude. He was
right,
on the
right.
show. So listen, and is correct me if I get this wrong. Y'all the first Christian hip hop to go gold, Christian rap group
I
to go
think, yeah,
gold.
for the gold single. Yeah, we had a first, we're like legitimately hip hop because
Yeah.
you do have Toby Mac. I'm not gonna
Okay.
sit here and disrespect my brother. You do have him, but we all know, and Toby Mac to your face would tell you that he doesn't consider himself as like the hip hop artist like we consider ourselves a hip hop artist. Toby Mac has a deep history in hip hop. He is a part of hip hop, but he wouldn't tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm an MC rapper like that." Like he wouldn't
Yeah.
do that to you. So I'm not gonna
Okay.
do that to him. No,
Yeah.
Toby Mac is definitely an artist who definitely is also has the artist the talent to be an MC, but he's more than an MC. He's like a total package entertainer. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
He like Drake.
Okay. Okay.
So
I can see that.
you know what I'm saying? He Drake before Drake, because Toby was singing before Drake was. Toby was doing all that and the big hooks. And he been in the game 10 years straight, just like Drake too.
Yeah.
Actually
Okay.
20. Actually 20
All right.
plus.
20 plus, 20 plus.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, no matter what it looks like in the public eye, if you're looking with the right eyes, you'll see that we always run the game.
Come
We're
on in here,
always here.
somebody.
We're always
Come
going
on.
to be here. We're always going to be the foundation, but we are not our whole movement. You, us, Petty D, Verbs, Toby, all of us. Our movement is not for the masses.
Talk that talk, King.
It's
Talk that
not for the
talk.
masses, dog. You know what I'm saying? All I'm going to say is y'all read y'all Bible.
Come
That's it.
on.
Read it.
Come on. Come on. Come on in here, man.
What did he do when masses came around? Fled,
Got
went
on
and
down.
hid, got away,
Got
went
on
away.
down.
He didn't want to deal with that because it's not about the masses. It's about the message.
Come on in here,
And
sir.
so that's why 20 years later, the message still ringing.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
masses are just still growing, but we're not concerned about the masses. We never were concerned about the masses out of obedience. And because of
Man.
out of obedience, we weren't concerned about the masses. He gave us the masses and is continuing to give us the masses. And we planted a mustard seed. That's just ooh ah. They don't know nothing about fall away. They don't know nothing about all fall down. Here we go. Get down. Love child. Dude, we got 10 albums, but the
Come
world
on.
is stuck on one song.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. Ooh and all those albums gotta do be pretty good. The crib look fire now. Sensor lights. I see you guys. Hey,
Hey
listen
man,
now.
I ain't even gonna front with y'all. Look, this is the crib now. I ain't gonna act like it ain't, but it ain't the personal crib. I like the penthouse life, and be honest with you. I like apartment
Okay.
life right now. I mean, we had a home and we moved here to Minnesota as a family 6 years ago, and we sold our home and we began an apartment life, and the Most High began to teach us things about budgeting and about just financial. And I will be honest with you, economically, spiritually, as a family, since I have been and we as a family have been here in the north in Minnesota, up in the cold. We have done nothing but thrive, but it only is because how we began the journey. And the journey began with my wife saying, I have an opportunity to go up north. My wife is a social worker. So I
Okay.
don't live in a house with a bunch of silliness. If you know what a social worker do, and I'm talking about child protective services, adopted, foster care, I'm talking about all of that. Like 2 in the
Yeah.
morning in the projects and you got to go take somebody's kids. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Man.
So the environment that at my house is very definitely can be a serious atmosphere just based on the lifestyle that the Most High put us into, which is caring for people and doing things for people, whether it's
Yeah.
in music or whether it's in real life. So me like, yo, she said that. I was like, well, knowing what she do, I was like, well, I've had my run in music. Let's go do that. Let's go. It's
Yo.
your time now, baby. It's your time. That's
Yo.
kind of how I looked at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I done been doing this for over 20 years and it ain't going nowhere. It
Yeah.
not saying that it stopped. When I say it ain't going nowhere, I'm saying like I ain't gonna never stop because it
Yeah.
ain't gonna let me and it's not stopping. So we can move further north for you to have this opportunity. Who knows? We'll see. But ever since, it's been a blessing. It's been school. It's been spiritual school. I've learned a lot
Wow.
spiritually since I've been
Wow.
here. A lot of understanding, a lot of clarity on his word, and then who he is, who I am, and who I'm not
Wow.
supposed to be. You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying? Um, just a lot, man. So it was out of obedience we moved up here, and he's furthered us as a family outside of grits. He's furthered us, and I was like, okay, so I'm stuck. I can't do nothing but what he tell me to do when he tell me to, and it seems like he is brewing us up. I know it's been 20 years for but it's been more than 20 years for grits. But at the same time, the message has not changed, like the word. It's still potent and powerful, like the word, and people still are desiring it and chasing after it, like the word, because it came from the word. It just didn't look
Man.
like the word when we were given it, but it was the
Come on.
word, and that's why it's still standing. And that's what I stand on. I go, well, people's lives are still changing. They still wanting this stuff, and it ain't even, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't
Yeah.
having. But we
Yeah.
understand it has nothing to do with us. It has
Man,
all to do with him, his
that's
purpose,
powerful.
our purpose within his purpose. That's all it is. It's really that simple.
King, how long you been married? How long you been with your bride? How many kids you got?
I have 4 adult children. I
Wow.
have 5 grandchildren. Blessed to have my little tribe growing, man. I have a brand new grandson. His name is Canaan. He's about 10 months old now. Um, but I have 5 grands. I have 4 adult children. My two youngest are my 2 youngest sons, Amir and Akil. They are here with us in Minnesota. My oldest son, Anthony, and my oldest daughter, Amanda. Her and her husband, Jeremy. They live in Nashville. My son Anthony and his wife Emily. They live in Nashville. They both have kids and family.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh, man, some days, today's my daughter's birthday. I'll say that. Today's my daughter's birthday, bro. And
Happy birthday.
I'm very, very blessed because I can say that her husband is one of them dudes who, if you was on the outside looking in, you'd be like, oh no. but because I was him, the person that people look at and be like, I don't know.
Yeah. I know what you
Bro,
mean.
bro, they done been married for over 10 years, out of high school. They got 3 kids, thriving, got a home. He got a business of his own. She's a nurse getting her master's in December.
Man,
When
look,
you do
bless.
things, when you plant the right seeds,
Come on.
you ain't got to worry about what things look like.
Come on.
You just got to stand on what the fruit gonna come out to be like.
Hello.
And the fact that I can say I got a daughter and she ain't a baby mama.
Woo.
I got a son and he ain't got a bunch of kids running around. He married, he got his daughter. Okay, he had one daughter, of course, before his marriage, but he in her life, they are very involved. His wife is involved in his daughter's life. It's a balanced situation, even though it started off a little bumpy. I started off in a
Mm,
bumpy situation. I done been divorced before. My 2
mm.
older kids didn't have a life with my younger kids until they were later in high school. So I get it. It's been a lot of challenges. But
Wow.
my biggest thing is I just try to be as obedient as I can, but I also try to be as real as I can with with
Come
with,
on.
with the one that I believe in, with my father and with my kids and with my family. I just try to be really real. And I'm not the most holiest dude, but I tell you what, I'm trying to be.
That's
I
hey,
put it
brother.
that way. I'm trying to
Yes.
be, but I'm being honest in it too. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
I'm not gonna come to you and judge with judgment and preaching like that. You can hear it you can hear it in the way I write. I write
Yes.
about myself, my own
Yes.
struggles, so that in that it may trigger something in you that you go,
That's
man, I felt that. And then we can have a conversation and we both heal.
That's so dope, man. That's so dope, man. Beautiful family. I love that. And I ask that. And I appreciate the rawness, the transparency, because we need to see our pioneers age well. We need to see.
Right.
That's why we need to see. Like my man is still. I don't know if you told us how many years you've been with your bride. I don't know if I missed that.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Hey, we actually got an anniversary coming up here this week on April the 3rd. We actually married wise, we've been together about 27 years. I think we're coming up on our 24th or 25th year as married
Hey,
couple. Because we
love
were
it,
engaged for
love
2
it,
years and then we 25. This year will
love
be
it.
25 years married, 27
Wow,
years together.
wow, man.
And
Look at
with
that, man.
hey, with our challenges.
Wow, come on
Without
in here.
challenges.
Wow.
With all of and every challenge a marriage has to face, we have faced it.
That's real. That's real right there, man. You on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. I'm about to go back to the original question. I don't want people in the comments. They was like, take us back to that studio session. Ooh wah. Ooh wah has appeared on the MTV show My Super Sweet 16, the theme song of the Buried Life, soundtrack to the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Big Mama's House 2, Pimp My Ride. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that song kind of went crazy. Did you know that studio session? Who like how give us that, bring us into that session. Did you know that song was gonna do what it continues to do? Top 10 and most played on TikTok. Certified gold, one of the first hip hop acts, Christian hip hop acts to get that plaque. Could you even imagine that song was gonna take off and just I mean be a history maker?
Definitely not, man. I mean, I had the faith in the song, but it wasn't like, a given or nothing like that. When we first did that song, it was really one of those songs that we believed in kind of as artists, but the label was like, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is a single. Yo, this song is actually, I think this song is really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could
Yeah.
be a single. And everybody's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And even Koff really doubted the song in the beginning because he didn't like his voice in it. He didn't like him being like in the front like that. And so I was like, yo, don't worry about that, dude. It sounds good. I'm like, it can good. So we had to kind of convince him. And then the
Mm,
label was like, oh, it was okay. And so it was like, you know what? I just was like, it'll it'll catch on. It'll catch on. They
okay.
were more focused on Here We Go, which was the first single off that album. They were more focused on that. So So we just kind
Yeah.
of rolled with it. Like I said, you know what I mean? It wasn't the most in the time, it didn't seem like the most ideal situation. But
Yeah.
now I look back and go, I get it. It had nothing to do with, man, we should have put that out there. There's something about, um, I put it this way. I feel like he let me know a while ago, gave me understanding that no, it was a process of preservation. It has
Okay.
nothing to do,
Okay.
see what I'm saying? That's why it happened organically.
Mm,
That's why
mm.
it's so big as it is, because no man had his hands upon it. Goatee didn't promote it. Grits didn't do a video or single. Toby didn't promote it or anything like that. But for some reason, it's the biggest song that either one of us can say is on our catalog. One of the biggest. For us, definitely the
Wow.
biggest. For him, one of the biggest. But neither one of us had nothing to do with his label, ain't had nothing to do with promoting it. Goatee ain't have nothing to do with promoting it. It just happened. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
that's why I'm like, okay, I need everything to happen like that. So I'm willing to wait for whatever song he want to release that he's already given us, that maybe some people have heard. I'm like, okay, well, if that's how you working, Father, then do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Amen. 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 So King, when did you guys know the run was up for Goatee? Because and I want to talk about
Well,
that because
actually,
in CHH we never talk about the industry and making a
yeah.
move. So we just like, we just blink and they're not there anymore. And it's like, we can
Mm-hmm.
go to the world and they'll say why they left Def Jam or what
Right.
happened on Def Jam and why it was time for them to do their thing. So you leave Goatee and leads me into my next question, launching Revolution Art. So when did y'all know it was time to leave Goatee?
Well, it had nothing to do with time to leave Goatee. It had all to do with, we actually are one of the few who actually lived out a 10-year record contract.
Oh wow.
We just
Wow.
came to the end of our deal. That's it.
Okay.
And Goatee was in transition from being the whole industry was changing from digital to audio. See what I'm saying? Like from
Okay.
audio to
Okay.
digital. When it comes to recording and how you buy music and all of that.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
the
the
industry
game.
changed. It wasn't us. It
Oh,
was the
okay.
industry change.
Okay. And did y'all feel it was best with the industry and the music industry changing? Was it best to launch your own label, get off an imprint, do your own thing? Was it, now entrepreneur ownership, masters, and all that stuff is popular, but were people talking
Right.
that talk back then?
Well, yes. Well, I was thinking that we were thinking that because we knew where the industry was going. We knew it was going digital, and Goatee told us it was going digital. They were going to become a digital company now. They weren't going to be doing a physical product no more. If we wanted to re-sign with them, we would, but the situation looked different because it'll be more like we would be doing like song by song, not full projects. Or if we did do full projects, it just would be creatively put together. And it was our opportunity to be able to, me, solidify ourselves as a company with a real distribution. So we were able to get distribution through Sony, through Provident, because at the time we had come off a relationship with Goatee through Provident. So
Okay.
it was a business move to get our name in the books from something. So when you go back and look at Grits, our Reiterate album, our Quarantine album, they all were on Revolution Art, and they were all through Sony, if you look at it. But that was a strategic move to make sure that we could legitimize ourselves for future releases. Even if it was, and we only had like a 3-year deal with Sony. We just did
Wow.
3 years, but we did that on purpose because we knew after 3 years we didn't want to be with them, so we can maintain our digital rights and so that we can maintain our ownership on all the other stuff.
Man, that's dope. See, that's then we get into the business side. Did y'all sign acts on Revolution Art? Did y'all sign other
We
acts
had
or
a
was it just
couple of
grits?
acts. We had a couple of acts on Revolution Art that we were jumping off some new artists. One was IZ, my homie from Jacksonville, Duval.
Okay.
He and I definitely, we kind of came up from the same church, but different eras. And so we kind of had a very close relationship, even till to this day. And then we had Jade, who is an artist who is actually like more like family. Jade is really family, dog. She's like little sis. Our main producer, Maurice Mo Henderson, out of Jacksonville, Florida, with Studio Cafe down there. He kind of brought Jade to the table, and Jade is an actual dope pop artist. She was ahead of her time. Definitely, if you go back and check that out. She is an independent artist now out of Dallas with a beautiful family. Her and her husband do their music together. He's her producer. You can definitely check her out, man. She between those two, and then we started loosely at the kind of towards the end of the 3-year deal, working with some rock bands, but it didn't really pan out the way we wanted it to. So
Yeah.
but either way, like I said, it was a move to make the next 10 moves, really is what it was for. And it just kind of it went the way that I think it should have went, you know.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
can actually say, like, if I go in the office right now and they say who was the last people you sat down with, I can actually legitimately say Sony.
Wow. Yo.
And
That
then
hey.
I can legitimately say, well, right now we're active on Spotify. If you go on, we have this many listeners. If you go on, right. So it was like moves that I was making that I understood, but I was being guided, even though I didn't know I was being guided. You see what I'm saying?
Super dope, man. It's the Quantel Lindsey podcast, man. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions right here, man, from the
Yeah.
fans so they can get them. Being Grammy nominated, what did that feel? What did y'all get that? I think you guys 2-time, right? You guys were nominated for a Grammy?
Yeah, we did. We fortunately, man, we were blessed to be able to be nominated for I think it's like what in our genre, they take everything together. They just put it all in one.
Okay.
So it was kind of like we were up against our other rappers, but we were also up against other different musical genres for the same
Yeah.
brand. See
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's why it makes the nomination so hard. Because if it was just our genre, we would have got it. But because our genre wasn't the only genre in it, right, it's easy to kind of make that slide. But the honor of just being recognized, you know what? I appreciated it. And I like I say, we blessed by it. The honor to be able to say we're Grammy nominated. How many artists can even say they were nominated? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And like I said, I believe that it's all a part of that resume that now when you think about the society and the way the world is now, everybody need receipts. So when you say grits, you can say, no, grits legit, dog. They actually nominated. They actually
Yeah.
selling records now. They actually platinum artists. They can actually legitimately say that. They got a gold record. You know, they can actually say that. They can.
Yeah.
It's not a hype. It ain't clout chasing. Like no, they
So
actually done
real.
did this. So
So
it's
real.
more legit for a generation for such a time as this, where everything is not legit.
Good deal. And also outside of being Grammy nominated, you were nominated for 12 Dove Awards and won 4, correct?
Yeah. I think we actually end up going home with 5. I think is the end total. But you're right, being nominated actually like for 12, but then we actually end up coming home with 5, something like that.
Wow. 5.
Which in Christian music that is the Grammy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Over there, Doc, is the Grammys, man. So
Yeah.
that again, not being people not recognizing or not putting respect on that in this culture, that is 5. That's heavy to walk away to be nominated for 12 and take home 5. So
Yeah.
we're platinum, we're gold selling, we're 2-time Grammy nominated, we're 12-time Dove nominated and 5 and took home 5. That is amazing, man. It's another fan question. Thoughts on CHH today, King?
Man. And first of all, I'm gonna be super honest with all the fans and say I don't even listen to much of it nowadays. Because I haven't heard
Wow.
anything that I feel like is new or that is bringing to the mission what needs to be brought. Now, there are some people who I listen to, who I appreciate, that are new, that I think are hard, and I think is dope. Like your boy, I think his name is Jay Monty, or Jr.
Okay.
Monty, him, Bats. Murfreesboro in Tennessee. Dang, and what's your other boy? No idea. What his name? No, what his name? Not big.
No big deal.
No big deal. Sorry,
Yeah.
I apologize, King, for messing up your name if you see this. But man, them dudes are what we was like. That fire that I see, and that ambition to be the best. Like you
Yeah.
need that. Why don't you feel like you could be the best? You know what I'm saying? You should. And I love that about them. And when I see them on the same level as everybody else. I would say if somebody said, who you gonna put up against whoever? Who you gonna put up a little baby? Give me bats. Give me bats. Give me no big deal. Give me Jay Monty. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Like I got people that I would go, oh yeah, put him up against him. Yeah, bring his music.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like those dudes, like recently, and I hate to say it because they are Tennessee guys, not to be biased.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? They Tennessee boys, not to be biased, but that's that energy that I felt from them. I'm like, yo, and that I feel from them when I check them out. I love it, and I'm like, that gave me hope for something more. Now, the reason why I don't listen to a lot of it is because it kind of hurts my feelings because we still getting played to the side. We still getting played because we should have way more. Let me put some more light up in here. I just had to come because I ain't want to cut off on y'all. So come in and get to the car right quick. But I just hate that we still don't get that radio love. Never have. We don't get the media love. Never have. Ain't no more bookstores no more. So, you know, when it comes to selling your records, I mean, you don't have any outlets you really could go to. I mean, we are really kind of left with the podcast and the ministries. And the bad part about through the years, the bad part about the ministries were if you didn't hold a certain agenda that lined up with the ministry, then you really didn't get that much support. You know what I'm saying? And I think they really lost the vision of the mission was a broader mission. It wasn't about this artist lining up with what your agenda is necessarily purposely in your city or community, but it was about you being obedient, having them come in to help you do what you're supposed to do in your community. Like that's how we would always go to everywhere we would perform. It was like, yo, we're here to help you bring in the ones you've been trying to reach.
Wow. King,
Basically.
that's powerful. Do you consider yourself a CHH artist?
I would say technically no.
Okay.
Technically, and I say that literally, technically, no. And I would say to me to be, it's like saying, would you say you hip hop? But you ain't never mentioned in none of the hip hop stuff. You ain't never really brought up around the hip hop. When they talk about hip hop, your name ain't coming up. And so to say, oh yeah, y'all legitimately CHH, I mean, I think somebody could make an argument to say that we ain't. I do.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just playing that other side of it to say, well, a lot of people would say that we ain't, and a lot of people would say we never was.
Wow.
Now, the fact of it, yes, we never claimed no title of it. Yeah, but I did that on purpose. Because even Christ said, don't tell them who I am.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell them who did this for you. Just go and live the life according to what has been done for you.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't got to be grits that change your life. Just go live a life that's changed and keep bumping the music.
Man, come on. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really, dude, that's it. Guess what? You don't have to worry about us being blowed up with pride if you be obedient and just do what you're supposed to do. Just bump the music, live the life that if it changed your life, live a changed life, and then just spread the music. And it ain't
Wow,
got to, and
wow,
it wasn't about grits. Grits was just a bridge. I said that a long time ago. We're just a bridge to get you where you supposed to go. We ain't the end all
wow.
be all. So if we go away, that don't mean your life can't change.
Yeah. Now, another fan question right here. Bonafide,
Yeah.
did you ever drop? Did you all do solo projects? Is there Bonafide projects? There are Coffee Jones projects? Is there solo music out there?
There is a Coffee Jones solo project called Fresh Brew. I was actually
Okay.
on that project. Yeah, I was on that project too. Well, I was on there like I think either one or two songs. Days Go By
Okay.
was like one of them, and I have solo music. Just to be honest with y'all, just so y'all know, I have
Exclusive.
music that I don't and I haven't released. I have music that I've been working on, writing on, and I'm very much if for I'll put it this way. If you had to describe me, and this is for people who are outside of necessarily just who know us from being, in God and CHH, this is for the
Yeah.
broader audience that you reaching. If you had to describe me and Cough, I'm kind of the Andre 3000 out of the
Okay.
out of the two of us.
Mm.
I'm the one that's more in the background, I mean, I got music, but I ain't showing y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still because I want it, not because I'm stingy, but I want it to be right, and I want to be right when it come out
Got you. Got you. Got you. Another
to
fan
support it.
question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So
it's
that's
all
so
about
it is.
struggle. That all I write about is love, uh, family, and life. That's what I write about. Now, it just so happens that my love, my family, and my life is surrounded by the Most High Father and Christ and Yeshua. You know what I'm saying? That just so
Amen.
happened that that's the underlying thread between the three things that I exist around: love, family, and life. So that's what
Wow.
you hear me write about. That's all you'll ever hear me write about. And that I mean that's how we as grits approach everything. So even if it sounds like a happy song, if you're really listening, then you probably hear us talk about something that you be like, oh, I ain't never catch that. Because we
Mm.
present it in a way where you can eat it. It's like feeding a baby. When they first start eating them solids, sometimes you have to throw a little applesauce in there to kind of, make them like them peas or like that broccoli or something like that.
Nice, nice. Will there ever be new Grits music? Will there ever be a full length Grits album? The tie this legacy together to
Ah.
the last hurrah. Will there be new Grits music?
Um, I mean, there actually is new grits music that people have not heard. There's music that we
Okay,
got. We probably have about 25 to 30 songs that we just kind of sitting on, and then we probably have about 10 to 15 from that we are still working on and developing. Um, I have solo songs that like I got like 7 or 8 songs that I'm like sitting on and just kind of waiting, seeing if just the timing of when, because we don't just put out music to be putting out music. We want music to be put out with a purpose and with a reason. You know what I'm saying? So because we've been blessed to be able to have music that, like you said, and we believe and we pray for, that is timeless. When we release the music, we want it to be in time so that it stays timeless. So what we're gonna
mm,
do, I'm working on something special right now where I want to take I kind of want to go the old school mixtape route and take a lot of
okay,
them verses and stuff that I know that people missed and start to re-release them, but in a way that they didn't really realize. They just heard something that actually I said already 20 years ago. But I just said it to a different beat, and I just said it in a different way. I maybe had to flip it because the beat changed, but the message did not change. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Good
To
deal.
do
Good
something like
deal.
that, like a mixtape, something like that. And I'm kind of like, the idea was to kind of call it ghostwriting,
Mm,
almost to
okay.
simulate this was written before. You know what I'm saying? Like I wrote this, but I didn't write this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is a ghostwriter? Somebody who write for you. Well, who write for us? Well, we believe in the spirit. The spirit write for us. So
I got
it's
it.
like to do a mixtape called Ghost Written and to do songs that we've done, whether it was 20 years ago, and re-record them on totally new beats. You see what I'm saying? It's like a concept, but that's the way that as artists we think like that. So we're like, oh, that'd be so dope. Let's do a project called Ghostwriting. We'll do verses that we already wrote, but because of people know what we are about, then they get it when we say ghost writing.
Wow. Wow. I get where you're going. I get where you're going, King. Again, the Quantel Lindsey podcast. We got
Yeah.
Teron Carter of Grits, aka Bonafide. When did you go back, start using the stage name, your original government name, that your birth, by birth,
Mm.
Teron Carter? When did you retire the Bonafide? When did you know it was time to put Bonafide up and give the world Teron Carter?
After the goatee deal. After
Okay.
goatee.
Okay.
After goatee, because I knew that now that it's time for people to put a name with a face and not a character with you know what I'm saying, with an artist, because that's the way to me things were going. It's like, all right, y'all taking this like it's like a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? When you think of as a rapper, when I think of MCs that I feel like inspired, that I admire, you know what I mean? It's like they always are, you know what I'm saying? They are who they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rakim has always been Rakim, on and off
Yes.
stage, on and off stage. So to me, that was an example of like always be who you are. Like, but if people trying to make you into like this character, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you just another rapper caricature or whatever. Then it's time they really need to know the real you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, but don't nothing change except the name. Everything's the same, the flow the same, the writing the same. It's like, I just want people to know that, no, this is Teron Carter speaking to you. You just know, AKA Bonafide, because I
Good
just knew
deal.
that there was going to be another era after Bonafide that needed to make space for Teron Carter, because that's where we at now. Like, people don't go by name. It's like your real name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even as
yeah,
MCs
yeah,
now, they use their real names.
yeah. You
Back
was
when people
early
what?
on that though. You was
Well,
early
I
on that.
mean, early, but I just take it as maybe I was discerning. I'll put it that way.
Okay,
I was
okay.
discerning. I wasn't early. I was just discerning, and I was hungry enough to want to be early. Put it that way.
Good deal. Yo, Teron Carter, why every award show I see, BT, hip hop, Grant, like they always have a segment where they honor the legends, they honor the people that paved the way. How come we don't see a segment at the Doves, at the Stellas, at the Kingdom, whatever gospel awards or whatever we have? How come we don't have segments where we bring out the grits, the Tobys, the people that paved the way, the T-Bones, the Debo, all these legends, all these people that paved the way. How
Right.
come there's a group of kids that don't know about these people, but they know about Rakim? They know about Rakim, and they know about the people that came before them. They know about the people that came in the 90s and paved the way for the artists to come and get big boy deals. How come we don't have that on our award shows? Do CHH even, let's just be real, where are these award shows? And when will we see legendary awards and when our culture honor a group like Grits?
Um, it's almost a trick question. I mean, because you're talking to somebody who kind of, because I've been in the industry a long time,
Yeah.
it's a certain way that things that I've seen, or ways of operation that I've seen, that I can make a judgment call on. And then there's another way, then I can go, you know what? Well, let me just go reach inside and say, I'll tell you how my opinion. of why it's like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's because without necessarily being I don't want to seem like I'm trying to go so deep or whatever, but when even in hip hop, if you look at it as a culture outside of whether it's gospel, Christian, hip hop, Christian, or whatever, it lost a sense of leadership. And now we in the Wild West. Now we got dudes running around doing whatever. Now it's like, okay, well, now y'all trying to actually do the things that you used to try to make raps up about. You know what I'm saying? It's like now you actually got to be an actual drug kingpin to actually, to sell a record. It's kind of reversed itself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the redemption story, it's like, no, we want to hear your destruction story.
Wow.
And in order for that type of mentality to keep growing, then you have to tear down the pillars. You have to forget history. You have to forget those that came before, those that struggled and made strides for you to have it better in the situation that you in. And the reason why I say that is because I liken it to where we are in the society when we're dealing with racism and dealing with our relations with our other brothers of people of color and all colors. It's the same history. They don't want us to look at Florida right now. Why? What is the problem with critical race theory? What is the problem with learning what really happened? Now, I'm not saying that to be political on your show or nothing like that, but I'm saying that when you really look at the reality of what they're asking to be taught, they're just asking for us to tell the truth. Okay, maybe Christopher Columbus actually didn't discover a place that wasn't already discovered. That's all we're saying is, hey, we made a mistake, maybe. Maybe we made a mistake. Let's dig into it. Doesn't that help history? Doesn't it help it to strengthen it so that the future people can stand on truth and not lies and not something that whatever I tell you, you roll with it? See what I'm saying? Because whatever I tell you, you gonna roll with it sounds like colonialism to me. Like, so whatever you believed or whatever it is you stand for, don't worry about it, forget it. Let me give you what I want you to believe. So, in order to do that, I got to take away your history. I got to wipe them out. I got to make sure they don't exist, so you don't have no grounds to stand on, so I can give you a history.
Man,
your history
Teron Carter.
Your history started with Lecrae. Your history started with Andy Mineo. Your history started with Cross Movement. Your history started with, you know what I'm saying? Grits. What about D-Boy? What about PID? What about your Mike dang, I forgot his name. That was rapping with Stephen Wiley. What about these cats? What about these cats? D-Boy gave his life in the game. I ain't never heard that story on Rapzilla.
Nah, man, that's
you see what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with, because I know the kind of society we live in. That ain't got nothing to do with Rapzilla. I'm just giving you examples. Yeah. Because I know the founder and person who started Rapzilla. I got his phone number. I ain't worried about that kind of stuff. We don't even do that over here. But I know what society we live in. I know where they'll try to take it.
But that is real.
But you and me, we're wiser than that. And the people who are listening on this podcast, they're wiser than that. We know what's going on in the spirit. We know we know what battle we really fighting. Come on, y'all. Really look outside. Y'all know what we're really fighting. Y'all know what we're really fighting. Can we be real with each other sometimes? Can we just really speak? You know? That's where I'm at. That's just where I'm at.
Talk that. Hey, listen, this is the Quantel Lindsey podcast. I mean, my man dropping gems in here. Listen, you can go political. We this is what we do here. You can do your thing. We want to hear from Teron Carter. We want to
Yeah.
hear, brother, you with there, man, and I was just about to wrap up, but I asked you. You brought up critical race theory. I don't even know if some people in tune right there, brother. That might be a whole nother show. We might have
It
to
might
come
be.
back
It
and
might
unpack
be.
that.
Well, you know what? This is what I'm saying is you have to watch out what's going on in society because it's going to relate to you as a believer and what you need to do for the future. If they stop critical race theory, they already stopped the Bible. Come on, guys. Y'all still want to keep
Mm,
losing the war? You know what I'm saying?
mm,
They already took the Bible out.
mm.
So if they
So,
took the
brother,
Bible out,
for the people
go
that's
ahead.
asking clarity,
Yeah,
you support critical race theory,
I
like CRT.
support truth. I
Okay,
support truth. And if
okay.
critical race theory represents a true representation of the history of what we all have had to deal with, yes, I support it. You know why? Because I support the Bible. And you know what the
Mm,
Bible supports? Definitely it supports truth. That's all it is. Because you know what truth brings? Accountability. And that's what this world that we live in today does not want. Accountability. They don't want you to tell them what they can and can't do. But that's not the principle of fruitfulness and prosperity. The fruits, the strength of fruitfulness and prosperity is discipline. It is accountability. It is being able to stand up and say, I'm wrong, or I need to make a different decision so that those who
mm.
go after me will have it better. And so that I will have it better. Like truth, you have to have truth to be able to do those things. You cannot
Yeah.
not have truth and expect to prosper. It's going to self-destruct if you don't have truth in there. You got to have it. So yeah, I support it, not
Wow.
because it's political, but because I know what it represents. It represents truth. Because I know if they can stop that, then they can stop even more truth. They already done started with the Bible.
Mm.
I'm just
When you
saying.
say start with the Bible, what do you unpack that for
I'm
the viewers?
saying
I want
this.
somebody in the comments like, what do you?
How long has the Bible representation been missing in public schools? When did they stop?
Mm.
When did they stop saying prayers in school? How old was you? Did you ever say a prayer in school?
Nah, I don't remember.
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? That's more than 20 years ago, ain't it?
yeah, big facts. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, but we
yeah.
talking about the same thing in a different form. We're
Mm.
talking about the same thing in a different form. They just now it's just, oh yeah, critical race theory. Because it's like it's gotta go deeper and deeper so that hey, the deeper it get, the more truth. The more truth. Because you can't separate America's history from the Bible. You can't separate the spiritual. You can't separate it. You can't. You can
Wow,
try,
wow.
but you can't. And there's a whole bunch of people that I know that don't want us to really make those real connections like that. And that's all I'm saying. But it's all
Yeah.
so that if we operate and walk in truth, we can actually operate and walk in love.
Amen. Amen. Man, this
That's
is
the
why you
whole
gotta.
thing.
This is the man, the Quantel Lindsey podcast. We got Teron Carter. I am so glad and just excited that people are going to check this interview. And I believe, brother, people are going to know the beginning and the end and who you are, and you kicking some stuff that I don't think nobody was ready for, the wisdom. And this is what we need in the community, especially in CHH, dudes that can come in and give the game, man. We got Teron Carter here on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. He done spoke from the beginning of his career, forming grits, signing to Goatee, starting his own label, being Grammy nominated, taking home 5 Dove Awards. He's even we done spoke on Rakim and 5% of God's and Earth. My man brought up critical race theory. The wisdom is going everywhere, man. Only on the Quantel Lindsey podcast where we keep it a beam. King, what are you happy do you feel like what we say in the hood what we say, and I just say the hood, what I say to this day to my wife, in general, do you feel like you've received your what's up though? Like, yo, salute, King. Like, do you feel like you get your love? Like, that's really what I want to know. Do grits, do Bonafide, or is it like, nah, forget CHH or forget that? Do you feel like you get your what's up though, that you appreciate it and you're honored and you get your just due for what you contributed to the game?
I mean, I would say there was a time that I really felt like, no, man, I ain't getting this and I ain't getting that. And then that's when I had to actually also step back and check my own heart and be like, you know what? First of all, my recognition and what I do and what I've done comes from no man. It comes from God. You know what I'm saying? It comes from the Father, because he orchestrated every piece of it. Honestly, Goatee didn't have no record, no marketing plan to make things work and this happen and that. It wasn't, dude. We was all raw. We all were doing it. We were learning as we were going. Goatee too. They ain't never been no label before. They didn't know what they were doing. They let us do things that other labels would never let an artist do. They did. They just was going out of raw kind of obedience and support. They just wanted to support us. They just knew that they were supposed to support us. They just knew they were. And no matter what record sales looked like, even when we was the ones on the label that maybe our sales wasn't as big as everybody else, they still would like refuse to not support us. We still had whatever we wanted. We were able to pretty much, like, you know, just put it up. We were able just to do whatever we needed to do to get the job done that they needed us and that they asked us to do, which was finish a project or turn in a record or whatever. Like, they always gave us that space. Like, they never butted in. They never said, you guys need to do this song. You guys, or Toby didn't sit in the studio with us. Everything we did, we came up with from on our own, rawly, organically. We didn't sample. Those are actually notes that we played and orchestrated, things, the ideas. We was like, hey, play it like this, whatever. So it was like, that's why I say it was just a blessing. You know, it's a blessing, the whole experience. So I can't take nothing out of it. I can't take nothing from it. And I refuse to. I don't want to touch it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like the Ark of the Covenant. I don't want to touch it. I ain't have nothing to do with that. I just was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm Moses. He just let me carry this tablet. But I ain't trying to be, toting around in my back pocket, like me and the tablet like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm humbled by the tablet. So I say that to say myself and Coffee both, we're humbled by grits. And that's why you don't see as much of us. Because we know it ain't about us, but we know that we also need people to see us. People need to hear us. People need to, to connect the faces and the names so that they can get connected to the interview, so that they can, you know what I'm saying? So they can hear, hear whatever it is that they didn't hear. Maybe they didn't hear it in the music, but they heard it in the on the Quantel Lindsey podcast though. And then when they go to the music, they hear the same spirit behind the music. And now they're able to connect with it. You know what I'm saying? They're able to connect with it because they know it's coming from a real place. We ain't trying to hustle nobody. I ain't trying to start. We didn't get in the hip hop game to start a ministry and then start a church. We didn't do that. We didn't do it. And you know what? At one time I wanted to, because I was like, I thought that was the career path because that's the way it was laid out. But what was shown to me was, no, yes, I have that path laid out for some, but not for you. I have a different path laid for you. And I had to come to an understanding of that. Like, oh, okay, I get it. And it was a reason why I flocked to you so easily. I just felt you, dog. I just felt you. Like, I felt your story, like where you came from. I just felt it. And some was like, you need to work with him. And I was like, I don't even know this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, how I know he even really about what he about? It was like, just watch him, listen to him. And then that's what I did. And I was like, you know what? I believe him. I believe him.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe he from that. I believe I believe it. At least he was around it, and he probably was more exposed than I was. But if he was exposed even as much as I was, yeah, I believe him, and I'm a
Wow.
supporter because I see what he's trying to do with his life, and to see you this years later, wifey, kids, you know what I'm saying, thriving,
Yeah.
ministry, going here and there, bro. I'm blessed. There was no way I was gonna say no to be on your show because I want to give
Wow.
you your flowers and
Come
say,
on.
yeah, thank you, because you make me feel like I help do something that help bring you to a whole nother level, dog. You know what I'm saying? A whole nother to carry on the mission of what we started and what we thought was just gonna be a collab. It was a life mission, and obviously something that he started that was a brotherhood. You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
Because
Yeah.
I don't
Amen.
feel if you text me or call me, I pick up.
Yeah. That's facts.
Some
Every time. Every time.
some, some jokers can call me and text me, and I'd be like, I'll talk to you later tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and I don't care how anybody feel about that. Everybody who know me. But
Yeah.
and not many people have my number anyway. So all that to say that the kinship and just the support, you know what I'm saying? No matter what it was at the time that I felt with you, I felt it was real. I felt what
Amen.
you was trying to do. And to me, the proof in the pudding, I see you now from when I met you. And I go, then, hey, I guess I was right in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at your fruit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at the direction you took, and I see how you kind of like he took you and took you off and put you where you needed to be. You know, where you
Big
needed to
facts.
be, and I'm proud to be a part of that journey for you, dog. Honestly.
Man, appreciate you, King. Like I said, man, you've always kept it a bean. Every time I hit your jack, man, I can always get the legend, the big homie on the phone. You always give game. And that's really the world knows if you're tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast, that's why I'm so big on multiplying, duplicating, and having more big homies around the culture because I'm in
Right.
green rooms. I'm in green rooms. And when I came into the faith and when I came into this music thing, and I kept hearing your name. I'm like, I gotta find a big homie. I gotta see what he on. His name popping around. And I'm like, yo, who them dudes now? Who's out there pouring into the young dudes now? So I have a
Yeah.
heart for that to say, yo, we need to have more shows bringing these legends on, these kings on, and honoring these kings and giving them room, bro, to speak, to communicate their heart, man. So, bro, we people don't know, man. We go back for real, and he ain't lying. Every time I hit the king up, man, it's text right back, it's call right back, and we chop it up like this on the private line. We just let y'all. We just made it. We just put it
Right.
on speaker. We just put it on
Let y'all
speaker
in
and let
on the private convo.
yeah, we just let y'all in, man. This is a dude, man. Teron Carter, man. I can't thank you enough, King. We've been supposed to wrap 30 minutes ago, but
Yep.
man, listen, you and Coffee don't come out. Y'all don't come out. So I'm like, yo, I gotta let the legend do his thing because I know how many people want to hear from you. I know how many people want to hear from Grits. I want you to know, and what you guys done was not in vain, and you get love from us over here. My camp,
Yeah.
the dudes I roll with, you hit legendary. One guy said, "Will there ever be is revolutionary art?" Let me get that right. Um, or is revolutionary art going to look for new artists? Will y'all ever create something for newer artists to launch from? Like what does that look like?
Well, you know what? I mean, in order for that to happen, it's gonna definitely take the right situation because I wouldn't want to put anybody in a wrong situation or wrong position. Especially nowadays, and the reality is where technology is, a lot of things people can do on their own. They don't need a label. They just need support and they need wisdom to help
That's
guide
it.
them through it. And I wouldn't sign anybody, but I would help walk them through how to be independent.
Wow. So basically, man, I'm gonna hit you off the line. We're gonna start a management company. Y'all come through us.
Hey,
We're gonna have consulting. Listen, y'all here, get at me. I'm gonna negotiate the fee. I'm gonna get you a one-on-one hour with the legend. You feel me? So
yeah. I
listen,
mean,
King,
yeah. No, I was
what are
just gonna say
you?
because
Go ahead.
just because I think a whole part of the agenda and reason why we're not getting some of the results that we wanted to see in the industry is because we have no ownership. We don't
Wow.
have anything founded. You see what I'm saying? We don't have anything
Come
founded
on.
to continue the business on. We just all we got is the talent or the product, if you will. We just got the product.
Wow.
We ain't got the blocks. We ain't got the distribution sources. We don't have the well, now we do, you know what I'm saying, with guys. Shout out to Syntax Creative, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to guys like that. We have certain small distributions and certain labels, things like that. But then again, we have to get past ourselves if you really want to know the truth.
Oh
As
wow.
these smaller independent labels and clicks, we got to get past ourselves. We can't live through those years of when you know LA Symphony, LA Symphony versus Cross Movement or Cross Movement versus Grits, or you know what I'm saying? Like we got to get it beyond ourselves and realize that everybody's called to the same body for a specific purpose. That's why you a hand and I'm a foot, and that's why you a ear and he's a nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we on the same body.
Yeah. Do you see any labels out there? You just dropped some names, some cross movement. Do you see any labels that you will salute to, that you would give your stamp of, okay, I see you like in the genre out there doing it now. Like, and
I
I'm with
mean,
you. You said,
oh no, I was just gonna say. I mean, just really the ones that from what labels that I still see around, like Redemption. You know what I'm saying, with my boy with Derek Minor. What they doing. Them of course 116. I mean, but these are
yeah,
the labels to me that mean that really that I would even know of right now would be the ones that were right after us to
okay,
in that sense. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? Because I haven't seen a lot of not any that have grown on a level where their name is just ringing. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
when you say Maybach music in the streets, people know what Maybach music
People
is.
know. Yeah, they know.
When you say goatee music in the streets, people don't know what goatee music is. When you say 116, they kind of know. They kind of know.
Yeah, yeah,
116, that sounds familiar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I say we haven't grown to the point where we have a strong enough industry. We don't have household name yet. We don't have that. We don't have that
Yo.
power yet. Till we
And
get
what
that
is
kind
that?
of
Because
power.
dudes spitting though, like dudes is
Yeah.
nice. Like you said, you
Yeah.
cranked up the verses earlier. You named them ones. Like you'll put them up. Hey boy, these boys monsters over here with the
They
pen.
are,
And
man.
I'm gonna tell you what I what I look and say why we didn't build industry. You said it. We were the street runners, but we didn't have we didn't build industry. And it's like it's only so long that you're not supposed to remain on stage and continue to tour. You're supposed to go celebrate 25 years with the wife, age well, and watch your legacy go. And it's like we need the industry to continue to move on, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna speak for me and everybody in the comments. They want to see more grids. They want to see you guys back on the scene. I think y'all got another 2.5 decades to give from a CEO standpoint,
Yeah.
from a
Yeah.
ball standpoint, from an investment. Because every time I reach out, it's always, hey, big homie, how should I move like this? How should I do that? Because you have that. And not only do you got the wisdom, you got the credentials. You got the credentials to show what you've done, man. So again, man, we'll get up out of here, King. I can't thank you enough, man, for the top to bottom. I don't even think we missed nothing. I mean, we covered everything, Doc. Did we miss something?
Yeah, no, because even when we was just chopping it up on the phone, I think we pretty much talked about everything, and even some of the stuff we was talking about on the phone. Really,
Yeah, it went
in
bumping,
our
man.
personal convo. So
So what's next for Teron Carter? The people want to know. You dabbling in music. See, I know you. What people know about Grits is y'all be quiet and then blink. Y'all be in a film. Y'all produce a whole film and have a deal going with advertising. So the people want to know what's next, what you got your hands in, what are you doing? Like, it's so many people that commented, King, and it's like, man, y'all were the one guy said Grits, T-Bone, and others from that time period was doing Christian rap when it was severely looked down on by the church, and they still stayed the course. So many people tagging people and just shout out to y'all and giving y'all crown and just blessing y'all. And I'm like, and they want to know, and I'm looking at these people, they said, I grew up on them, they did this, I remember this album, that album. And they want to know, man, they love that you're looking well, doing well. What is Teron Carter doing now?
Man, I'm into really just investing into family and community. You know, right now I purposely went a different direction for as far as career and business to kind of take myself to school for free. So I started working into retails because I wanted to learn how to be a better marketer and how to better reach people when, you know, with what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like all them years of having a product and then not knowing how to really touch people with it, like not having the science behind it. So what I did was I basically just started teaching I was like, what's the best way to learn that type of business? Because I knew that the industry was going back to hand, back to person to person, you know, and the best teacher for that is retail, person to person marketing, person to person contact, experience with people, because you get to learn how people are, you get to learn the behaviors, you get to learn what to look for, watch for, what triggers people, what inspires people. And so I think as a musician, that's your greatest lesson. The job that you hated, that one at Target, is the very job that could take you to the next level if you look at it the right way.
Wow. Oh man, yeah. Hello. How often do you talk to coffee?
I talked to coffee yesterday. Actually, I talked to coffee this morning or this afternoon. So I actually, that's right, because he's traveling right now, and coffee, he travels a lot because and just y'all was asking like what's going on. Coffee does a lot of writing, like stuff like sketches and comedy. Like he's into that. He's into more of the visual film, like that type of stuff. So a lot of times Coffee is like jet set. He'll be in Vegas one day, he'll be somewhere else. But he's got a little crew that he works with, a comic out of Nashville, Tennessee called Raynard. Blacksmith. Raynard Blacksmith is his real name. But if you on his IG, it's Raynard Comedy. But he rolls around like that's what he's really, really into. So he's traveling more than often than used to when we used to travel like for music. I'm more of family business. Like that's my thing. I'm family and business. So I'm handling some business, I'm taking care of family. Like that's my thing. And in the meaning in between, we bring grits in the middle of it because it's something that actually it won't die. It keeps living on its own. I mean, there was a time period where we just didn't do nothing just for it, and then but it wouldn't. It just kept coming back alive. Somebody wants you to do this or that or this or that, and it's like, okay, let's stop fighting it. Let's just go ahead and give into what we gave into a long time ago, which was a destiny and a calling.
Good deal, man. On that note, this is a Quantel Lindsey podcast. You're gonna have to go back. My brother dropped so many gems. You're just gonna have to chew on it, man. A legend. Decades. People grew up on his music. I mean, the accolades. Still humble. Still standing on what he believed in. Age right, man. We need this in hip hop. We need this in hip hop. We need this in hip hop. Marriage is beautiful. Family is beautiful. Business, investment, ownership. I mean, my man brought up Florida and everything that's going on. Florida crazy right now. And so it's real, man. And you in tune, brother. I mean, it's amazing. We love you, King. Your work was not in vain. and we celebrate you, we salute you, and I'm gonna make some phone calls, and we about to have that Legends of CHH tour going around.
Hey,
we gonna bring it back, man. So shout out to you, man. Continue to do what you do. We cannot wait to see, bro, what the next 2 to 3 decades and what you do, man. You shift the culture. You invested, bro, and you a legend in CHH. You a legend in hip hop. You're a brother in the Lord, man, and we honor you, King.
man, I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely, man. And shout out to my fellas, man. Village King, Petty D, and my boy Know the Verbs. Y'all go check that out.
Zilla.
As you can see, the factors are very much still alive. See, we working in secret. We just warming y'all up with Village King. Wait till the factors really come together like Voltron, because we've been talking
Woo.
about it. We've been talking about it. We just kind of teasing y'all with Village King right now with that Petty D and Verb. So, but which is hard.
Yo, Zilla, I hit him up, man. He snapped. That
Yeah,
verse was
man.
crazy. Hey, man, I think Village King that's something special.
It is, man. I'm scared that I've been kind of like falling back. I want that thing to breathe because it's taking on some life, man. And
Man,
and and I love it because these is my OG. Like we came up together. I'm like watching my boys. You know what I'm saying? Amongst all these young cats, they out there hanging right there, and it's like, wow, okay. And nobody knows the difference.
No, man, Petty Zilla snapping. And y'all dropped Saints and Sinners not too long ago. That's some new grits music floating around
Well,
out there.
I mean, Saints and Sinners is about maybe 3 or 4 years old. But what we're gonna do is we're going to re-release it because we're gonna reintroduce people to a lot of that stuff. Kind of sparring off of the 20th anniversary. So that's what we really want to do. I just kind of really want to reintroduce a lot of stuff just for people's enjoyment and nostalgia, and for those those who may have missed it or whatnot. So
I
mean,
20th year, 2020 dub coming up, right? Y'all got 20-year anniversary for all that. I know y'all got some special stuff working, man. Y'all got some exclusives for us, man. Only here on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, re-releasing some of those.
Well, you know what? I come to you. If I got some exclusive, we gonna come to you definitely. Because I mean, you like technically the first interview that I did. It ain't the first one that I was supposed to do. But I made sure you was up there though. You the first one that's gonna be out there and published. So I might as well, what I'm saying, Dave. Whatever you need, dog, you good. But you gonna always have word. You always gonna have
most definitely, man. People know we family, man. I cannot wait, bro. And man, we got to get when Coffee settled on the road. We got to get him back.
Yeah, man. We're gonna bring him back.
On. Yeah, bring his comedian on, man. We want to know what y'all doing, man. So, man, get at me because I'll be on the jack, man. People want to know where can they find you, brother, on social media.
Man, I am simply my name on social media at Teron Carter on IG, at Teron Carter on. I don't do Facebook, so I'll probably be there, but I ain't on there. I ain't been on there in a few years, so you can message, but I ain't getting
it. People like, yo, I sent my demo, man. He said,
right. They're like, man, I sent this 3 years ago. Yeah, well, it's been probably a little longer than that, but yeah. But on IG, Twitter a little bit, but I mainly mess with IG for the most part, just because I'm not really. For one, I'm a extroverted introvert. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really more like a private person. I really don't be out there like that. But IG is the most thing I stay active on because I know it's important for people who do know. About the grit stuff and just people who I just became friends with over the years who we may not be in the same state.
Yeah, man. I pray that and I hope that people tune in that they got to see a bona fide, the man behind the music, a man behind the accolades. They got to see a husband. They got to see a father, an artist, a rapper, a writer, a creative. Like I hope, man, we try our best to give people room to speak on this show. We try our best to say, let's take you behind the music, behind the person. This is what's going on, man. And Shout out to you, man. Y'all make some noise. Digital hand clap for my brother, Teron Carter. Man, we love you, King. Be blessed. Let us know 20th, whatever we can do to celebrate it. Y'all, this was the Quantel Lindsey podcast. Teron Carter, a.k.a. Bonafide. Take it away, King.
Hey, man, you know what? Definitely, I would say applaud to you guys, man. Applaud to everybody listening, tune in, those who are going to tune in. Definitely keep supporting this man right here. Hey, that's a little bro right there. That's a little bro. We've been cool before, lights and camera action. So, and that's why I'm here, because we got a little bit of history, and I believe in whatever he got going. I'm with it, because I watched him grow, and I watched him come from, him not even knowing who he was, but being bold enough to be like, man, I want to rock with y'all, and we rock together. And I appreciated that. So that's what it is. So definitely check us out on IG. Hey, that's pretty much it. Me and Coffee on IG. His is I am Coffee Jones on IG, and mine is at Teron Carter. At Official Grits, if you want to check the whole group out. It's at Official Grits on IG, and it's the same for everything. At Official Grits is everywhere. On YouTube, it's Official Grits. On Twitter, it's Official Grits. Everything is Official Grits, so you don't get it mixed up. Because there's a couple bands or whatever that tried to come out, kind of, slide off, finesse off the name a little bit. I'm like, come on, bro, y'all can't do that.
Man. Hey, they don't know, man. Me and you, bro, we about a decade strong now. For real.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, bro.
We got down before you got. Was it before you got married, or was it? Was like right after,
bro. It was right after.
Right in the timing.
Yeah, and what people don't know, man, while we at it, we hit up. I send you the record. You killed the joint, and we play in the studio. We like, dang, OG ain't lost his step. Like you snap. We go, I get called out to do the show in Nashville. You kept it so solid, man. We at the venue, you just on some vibing with the fam. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna do the record. I ain't think you was gonna jump on the stage and kill, bro. I never forget. I'm rocking the joint, and I'm like about to crowd surf and just let the song do its thing. Boy, you came out of nowhere, man. And I leave like, yo, the big homie killed it, did the song, bro. We rocked it out, man. It was crazy, man, because I'm just like, it's like I always want the world to know the bona fide Teron Carter that I get to talk to.
Right.
Because I'm like, yo, this dude is a phenomenal artist, but this dude is a dope person.
Yeah.
Dude he's 7 feet tall, bro, on stage, but he's 8 feet in the green room. And you know this, bro. A lot of these dudes they're not giants in the green rooms. I told my wife I don't even want to meet no more heroes.
Yeah, it's tough to do. It's a tough situation, depending on who you meet and why you meeting them too, and how you meet them. I think that's the big thing, is how you meet them. Yeah.
So bro, shout out to you, man, because you was already you. You know what I'm saying, King? Yeah. You was already Grits, Teron Carter, Grammy-nom, Dove Award. And I was the little homie, like, yo, what is this thing called CHH? What is this spiritual rap? What is this faith and truth, family, and rappers got wives? I'm new on this, and they honor them and they go home and they committed to them. And it was just like you, Zilla. It was so many homies that y'all didn't have to stop back and text back, because I'm like, I don't have these accolades, man. I'm fresh off the streets, just got saved, trying to figure out what it is out here. And not saying the homies didn't reach back, but it was a big homie like you that I'm like, dang, bro. But one thing I got to give, and we rapping people, I promise. One thing we got to give, if I was a young dude on the street trying to figure out how to get in the game, so many old heads would have came and snatched me up. But when it was a young man that's saying, what is this Jesus stuff? How do I dress how I dress, talk like I talk, and love the Lord, and go back to, I got 3 face tats. What does this look like? And I saw men that looked like me, and I'm like, husbands, fathers, love the Lord, raise their kids. And it wasn't a lot of help out there, man. So it wasn't a lot of people, bro. So shout out to you, man. People don't even know how real it is. But like I told them, if I wanted to know how to do something shady or be in the streets, I can find help to do that tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tonight.
Yeah, I gave him grace, King. You like in 30 minutes.
Hey, right. Just go
So
go
shout
to the
out to
right
you.
7-Eleven.
And it's like, yo, bro, where it's at? Oh, right here, big homie. Let me show you how to what you call it. But it's young men, and not just rap though. Let's be clear, because I know what people gonna say. Nah, bro, some of y'all, so such and such should do my song, and such and such should perform with me, because that's what the big homie did for Q. I'm saying on some manhood, on some father, on some mentor. It ain't even got to be about business and music, man. We need that in the culture. We got a responsibility in CHA. It's more than music.
Right. And it's more to really opening, like I said, being able to take a step back, because really I ain't have no reason to have to do a song with you.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did it do for me? But that's what somebody else will say. But I saw something that I saw the vision of whatever this is, whatever you have, whatever your hand is on this dude's life, I can see it. And if I can be a part of it, even if it's just a verse, then I'm gonna do that, because I want to see the outcome of this. I know it's just starting with a verse. I know there's gonna be something greater beyond. So it's all in your perspective and in where you're at when you do that, and definitely I would just want more guys to be that in tune with the relationship of what they do when it comes to our genre.
Amen. Happy birthday to your daughter. Shout out. Congratulations
Appreciate
on
it,
your
man.
25th anniversary coming up. Shout out to your 20th anniversary of all the legendary things you did with Grits. Bonafide, Coffee, Teron Carter Grits. We love y'all. Can't wait to see another 10 to 20 years of creativity.
Definitely, man. Hey, like I said, next time I'm bringing Cough back with me, man. It was weird. We were trying to get it worked out, but hey, like I said, it's just open for the comeback. You know what I'm saying? Have people come back, and then they get to talk to both of us. And now that's going to be an adventure, because everybody who know Cough is crazy.
I'm excited, man. Hey, man, I'm excited. Can't wait, King. Love you, King.
Love
Be
you too,
blessed,
bro.
man. It's
All
the
right,
Quantel
man.
Lindsey podcast. Teron Carter, we out.
Definitely. Big shout out to the Quantel Lindsey podcast. Keep watching.
Yeah.